Let's do Cotton Fields up the neck. Hey, this is John Baylor, the Kokomo Kid. I'm going to run through another lesson on double stops here for you. This time, we're going to be working out of closed positions. So although I ended on an open E chord, this is something I can play anywhere on the neck. So there I'm playing this thing in A flat, which is not really a guitar player's favorite key, but it's not really a whole lot of trouble for me once I get it going because I'm working out of these closed positions and I've still got a chord everywhere I want to go. So what I'm trying to achieve through these double stops is playing a melody or a lead part and still having a full sound come out of it. So I throw in a couple harmony notes in there too. And the working out of chord positions makes it really, really easy for me to find those harmonies. The positions that I'm using in this, basically there's just two positions, although when I was in A flat, I ended on this bar chord here. But my other positions are a D position, and I'll move this all back down to the key of E so we can kind of see it a little more clearly. I'm going to use a D position, and I'm going to use an A position. And what I mean by that is a D position, this is like a D chord, but if I slide it up 2 frets, it's now an E chord, but I still refer to this as a D position just to know how my fingering is supposed to work on it. I'm going to modify this just a little bit. If I'm playing a D, I can put the 3rd in there, and again move that up 2 frets, and now it's an E chord. But for this song, I'm not going to need this finger right here. I don't need to play the 1st string at all. So I'm going to rotate my fingers around, and this is just going to be a little bit easier way for me to play this right now. And also, this is a chord I use quite a bit, so it's not like I'm looking for a way to not use my pinky or anything like that. This is a position that really puts the pinky to work at times, but not in this particular song. So there's my D position. My other one is an A position. I'm going to use it here, which we're in the key of E. This is just an A position, playing an A chord. But I'm also going to use it up here. When I move it up 2 frets, now it's a B chord, kind of like this right here. But I don't need all these hard to play notes. I just need the easy ones here in the middle. And really I just need these 2 notes. And if I hit that 2nd string, then there's certainly no harm in that. It's part of my chord, but it's not exactly important for me to make sure I get it in there. So again, my 2 basic chords are the D chord, the D shape, and the A shape. And then I'm going to end on this E shape. I'm not going to cover all my caged chords in this song, but those are 3 of them anyways. The D shape, the A shape, and the E shape are 3 of those caged chords, which are movable chords that we work with up the neck. When I'm walking through this song, again, the idea of this double stops is I'm playing my single note, but I'm also catching some harmony along with it. So I hit this note, maybe I hit this note all by itself, and then when I play the next one, I'm actually hitting 2 strings. I don't hit this one quite as hard as I hit this one, because I want my melody to stand out more than the harmony, but I want the harmony to be undeniably present. So for that first passage, I started with an E, my D position, playing an E chord. I changed to an A, and then I go back to another E, although I'm not actually going to play the full chord. I'm going to play this sort of abbreviated version here. This note isn't in my chord, so this maybe doesn't look very much like an A chord, but it will as soon as I get past that first note. And then the same thing when I switch to an E chord. I'm just fretting these 2 right here. I've got to be careful not to play that 4th note. I don't want a suspended chord here. I just want a regular E, so I'm kind of killing that one actually. But just the way I did it with the A chord. I got this note here that's not part of the chord, but then I drop to my E shape right away. There I start in my low E position there, sorry, my abbreviated low E position. I go up to my high E position, and then I'm going to go to a B chord. When I'm doing that run there, I don't, and there's actually a few more notes in that run than there is in the actual melody of the song. I don't need to worry about getting my harmony part. There's enough movement there. It doesn't feel like anything's missing for me to go. And then when I get up to the top, now I've got some notes that are holding out a little bit longer, so you can maybe hear both of those strings. This is going to be the same as the first line. And then this is a slight variation. I'm going to go from my E to my high E to my B and then back to my E. The B chord comes a little bit sooner and it resolves to the E, and the last one just kind of held on there. So this time my line is going to be that's got a little extra run at the end as well. So I do that same run, but this time when I get to the top, then I'm done with my E and it's time for the B already. When I get to this note right here, I'm not going to bother with a harmony. This is a place I would normally put a harmony note because it's beat one of the measure, it's the last note of my song, but instead I'm just gonna add a little bit of a grand finale kind of run onto it, I guess. And because I'm running, again, because I'm going to move real quickly, it doesn't feel like something's missing when I only hit one note at a time there. It doesn't feel thin because there's movement to make up for the lack of harmony. That I'd go ahead and strum through the whole chord at the end of that. A lot of times if I'm doing some double stops or doing single note lead or whatever, then I will try to throw a chord in there at like a pivotal moment where it sounds really good, and especially the very end of it is usually one of those pivotal moments where it's nice to get that really full sound out of the guitar. Again, sort of the idea of this lesson here, I did it in E so we could clearly see how this is similar to a B chord, how this is just a different way of fingering an A chord. We could see it, we could kind of identify what all these things were at a glance, and that's a little harder when I move up the neck, but they're really going to be the same positions. And the whole idea of this lesson is to sort of open up these things higher up on the neck. So I'm going to take that exact same thing that I just played, but I'm going to start in a different position. So this is the same chord position as this right here. That's the same chord position as my So like I say, I can put that position and I can play this particular song anywhere on the neck, but also we got a technique here that works for a lot of songs. I mentioned those aren't all of my caged chords. There are a couple different types of chords that I can move around to different places on the neck. But those are chords that are handy not only for moving around on the neck, but they're really, really handy for soloing on. So I've got a lot of different songs where I will basically just use these two positions and build a solo around just those two positions. So definitely, try out that Leadbelly Cotton song there, but Try out whatever song you might happen to have. Try some of those chord positions, play it somewhere up the neck, and see if you can't make the melody and put those harmony notes along there with it. If you guys like what you're hearing, then please subscribe. I'll have more of this coming. My whole mission as a musician is to sound like I'm getting a sort of a full sound out of one guitar, and I'll sing along with it. But trying to put on a full program like that has some special challenges, and I'm trying to tackle those and just trying to help anybody else out who's kind of in the same boat there. So again, if you like what you're seeing, you want a little bit more of it, then subscribe and keep track of when new videos are coming out. Thank you very much for listening.